Okay, Unit 5 test review. So it says simplify, tell the degree, and tell the number of terms. So first we're going to simplify. So there's nothing in front of this set of parentheses, so I don't need this set of parentheses. So I'm just going to rewrite it. But however, on this one, I need to distribute. So negative 3x times y is just negative 3xy. Negative 3x times y squared is negative 3xy squared. And negative 3x times 2xy, well, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. X times x is x squared, and then there was only one y being multiplied. And now we have to find like terms. Here, I'm going to start with my highest degree. So this is a degree of 2, degree of 2, degree of 3, degree of 2, degree of 3, degree of 3. So here I have an xy squared, and that's x squared y, so that's different. So 5 minus 3 is 2xy squared. And then I have this x squared y, so negative 6x squared y. I do not have another x squared y, so I'm just going to do minus 6x squared y. So then I have this xy, so negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. And technically this is a degree of 2 and this is also a degree of 2, so you could have put this first, doesn't matter. And then I have this guy, and there's nothing else with an x squared only, so it's just plus 3x squared. There's your answer. Okay, so if we look at the next one, again, we don't need that first set of parentheses. There's nothing in front. Here I have to distribute my negatives, so when I distribute, I get minus 3xy minus y squared. So now I can combine like terms. Well, I have 3xy minus 3xy. Well, that just cancels. And my highest degree is negative y squared, and then minus 2y. Nothing combines. So there we go. Now remember, a positive and a negative cancel each other. Not a negative negative, not a positive positive. So be careful there. Okay, so now we look at this one. Now here, none of the parentheses are needed. There's nothing in front of this one. There's a plus sign in front of this one. It doesn't change anything, so we don't even really need to rewrite it because it's there. We can just ignore them. So this is a degree of 2, degree of 3, degree of 4, degree of 3, degree of 4, degree of 2. So I'm going to combine my like terms. Well, this is a degree of 4. Does this match this? M squared, n squared, m squared, n squared. They do. So 8 minus 4, or negative 4 plus 8, is going to be 4m squared n squared. So then my degree of 3, well, I have this and I have this, and they are not alike. This is mn squared, and this is m squared n. So I'm just going to write them both down. Plus 11mn squared plus 5m squared n. They are not alike. And then I have a degree of 2, and they are alike, mn, mn. So I have negative 8 minus 10, which is going to be negative 18m. Okay, then it says simplify by multiplying, so we're going to multiply these. Oh, let me go turn the light back on. Actually, I can just do this. Okay, so we're going to multiply. So 5ax to the 7th times 2ax to the 6th. So again, I'm going to start with just my coefficients. 5 times 2 is 10. Remember, you multiply coefficients like normal. Okay, a times a is a squared, and then x to the 7 times x to the 6, well, 6 plus 7 is 13, so that's x to the 13th power. Remember, you add exponents when you're multiplying. Okay, so then we distribute again. 5 times 3 is 15. There is no a here, so I'm just going to write the a, and then again add the exponent. 7 plus 3 is 10. 5ax, 7 times 6a, 5 times 6. I don't know why I second guess myself on that. It's 30. Okay, a times a is a squared. And then x to the 7th, because there's no x over here to change it. None of these are like terms. So there is my answer. Okay, here, again, same concept. We're going to multiply. Bring out your calculator if you're getting to numbers that are too big to do in your head. So 5 times 14 is 70. W to, we're adding exponents. So 3 plus 7 is 10. 5 times 5 is 25. Again, we're adding exponents, so 3 plus 5 is 8. And then 5 times 11 is 55. And there was no other W there, so we're just going to put W to the third. None of them are alike, so there's your answer. Okay, now here we have to double distribute because we have two terms in front, not just one anymore. This was one term in front, one term in front. And something I just realized I forgot. We're going to go back really fast. I did not tell the degree or tell the number of terms. So I want you to realize, I'm going to get a different color. This is a degree of 1, 2, 3. This is a degree of 1, 2, 3. This is a degree of 1, 2. This is a degree of 2. So the highest degree, so this is a third degree, which is cubic. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Remember, plus and minus separate terms. So we're going to call it a cubic polynomial. Okay, because it's third degree, 4 terms. Okay, here it's a degree of 2, so it's quadratic. And it's 2 terms, 1, 2. So it's a binomial because it's 2 terms. Okay, and then lastly, degree of 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, we've already realized our highest degree is a 4th degree. There's no fancy word for that, so it's 4th degree. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a polynomial because it's 4 terms. Okay, sorry about that. Didn't mean to forget that. Okay, and now we're going to go back down to number 6. Okay, so this one we're double distributing because there's 2 terms in front of a trinomial. Binomial times a trinomial. So I'm going to just pay attention to the x first, and I'm going to distribute it to everything in the second set of parentheses. So x times 7x, well remember it's the same thing as saying 1. So 1x times 7x squared, well 1 times 7 is 7. X times x squared, you add exponents, so it's x to the third. And 1x times 1x, well it's just x times x is x squared. And then x times 7 is just 7x. And now we're going to pay attention to the second term. So I'm going to do my same arrows but on the bottom. Negative 3 times 7x squared is going to be negative 21x squared. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And negative 3 times 7 is going to be negative 21. And now we have to find our like terms. So this is cubed. There's nothing else cubed, so I'm going to bring it down. So I have a squared and a squared. So this is 1 minus 21 would be negative 20x squared. Okay, then we have x and x. So 7x minus 3x is going to be positive 4x. And then we have minus 21 that had no like term. So again, we're going to double distribute. So this one's a little easier because this was a 2 term times 3 times. This is 2 times 2, so it's going to be a little easier. So 2x times 5x, well 2 times 5 is 10, x times x is x squared. 2x times negative 7, well 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and then an x. And now we distribute our negative 6. Negative 6 times 5x is going to be negative 30x. And then negative 6 times negative 7, well 2 negatives makes a positive, and 6 times 7 is 42. Yeah, I don't know why I second guessed myself with that. Okay, so my 10x squared, when you have a binomial times a binomial, the middle two should always be like terms. So bring down my 10x squared, negative 14x minus 30x. So again, use your calculator if you need to. Negative 14 minus 30 gives me negative 44x. and then bring down your plus 42. So let's try the next one. Now this is a difference of squares. One has a plus, one has a minus, but they look exactly the same. 3p times 3p is 9p squared. 3p times negative 1 is negative 3p. 1 times 3p is positive 3p. And 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And then remember, when it's a difference of squares, the middle two should always cancel. These are like terms. They're one's positive, one's negative. They're a zero pair. So we have 9p squared minus 1. Okay, and this last one is a perfect square. So remember, if it's squared, you have to write it twice. You cannot just give that squared to both terms on the inside. So 3m times 3m is 9m squared. 3m times negative 4 is negative 12m. Negative 4 times 3m is negative 12m. And negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. Middle two are like terms. So we have 9m squared. Now two negatives don't cancel. Negative 12 minus 12 is negative 24m. Bring down my plus 16. Okay, now these are like what we were just learning. Okay, now the nice thing is, I think this is one of the ones from your practice. When you have that divide on the outside, you just put it on the inside. Give it to everything, and you can ignore that. Now remember, it's a monomial, so we don't have to do long division. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And now more r's on top. 2 minus 1 is r. So remember, we subtract exponents when we're dividing. 2 minus 1 is 1. So we have 4rs. 9 divided by 3 is 3. I brought down my plus sign. R's match, so they cancel. 3 minus 1 is 2, so s squared. Bring down my minus. 15 divided by 3 is 5. S is matched, so they cancel. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, here again, if you don't want to rewrite it, kind of separate your terms and put it with all the terms. So this is going to be a fraction because 5 divided by 10 is 1/2, and if that struggles with that, 5 over 10 gives me 1/2. So I have a 2 on the bottom and a 1 on top. There's more m's on top. 3 minus 2 is 1. There are more n's on top. 2 minus 1 is 1. So that's my first term. Bring down my minus. 2 over 10, alpha y equals enter. 2 over 10 simplifies to 1 over 5. Now I have more m's on bottom, because see, that's m and this is m squared. So m, and then 2 minus 1 is 1, so that's good. And then there's more n's on top, so 3 minus 1 is 2. Bring down my plus. Alpha y equals enter. 4 over 10 is going to be 2/5. There's more, the m's match and the n's match, so they cancel, so there's your answer. Okay, next page. Okay, we have 2 more long division. These are 2 more division. These are long division because they have a binomial on the bottom. Okay, so your bottom goes outside, your top goes inside. And make sure nothing's missing. So 1, 0, 3, 2, 1, 0. Remember, we're checking the degree. Degree of 3, degree of 2, degree of 1, degree of 0. So we're good. Nothing's missing. We're going to pay attention to our first terms first. So let me get my highlighters out. Okay, so x cubed divided by x, well, we just subtract. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Now remember, every time you get a new number on top, you have to multiply. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 2, positive 2x squared. And then we subtract, subtract, subtract. So yes, they were both positive when I multiplied, but since I'm subtracting, they both are opposite now, and they're both negative. First term should always zero out, which it did. X cubed minus x cubed is 0. Negative 4x squared minus 2x squared is negative 6x squared. And I'm going to bring down my next term, plus 2x. And now I'm paying attention here, here, and here. Okay, so I'm going to take my inside term, negative 6x squared, divided by my outside term. Well, negative 6 divided by 1, because you can put a 1 if you need to, is just negative 6, and then 2 minus 1 is just 1, so x. So we have minus 6x, and then every time I get a new term on top, I have to distribute. Negative 6x times x, it's negative 6x squared, negative 6x times 2. Well, negative 6 times 2 is negative 12, and then x. So now we subtract, which makes them opposite, opposite. So yes, they were both negative, but now they're both positive. Negative 6x squared plus 6x squared is 0. 2x plus 12x is positive 14x. Bring down my plus 5. I just brought down my last term, meaning that that is the last one I have to focus on. This is my last go round. So 14x, x, and my last term. Okay, so I take my inside, divided by, change my colors, my outside. X's cancel, and I just get 14. So plus 14, and I distribute. So 14 times x is 14x. 14 times 2 is positive 28. And now I subtract, subtract, subtract. This zeroes out, and I get negative 23 as my remainder. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 14, put a plus sign with a fraction bar, negative 23 on top, remainder on top, what I divided by on bottom. Now let's look at the last dividing problem. Okay, so I'm going to put my bottom outside and my top inside. And we're going to get started. So we're going to focus on our first two terms first. Okay, so 12x cubed divided by 4x. Well, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and then cubed minus 1 is x squared. So multiply 3x squared times 4x. Well, 3 times 4 is 12. X squared times x is x cubed. 3x times 3 is 9x squared. But we're subtracting, so we're going to do opposite, opposite. 12x cubed minus 12x cubed is 0. Negative 11x squared minus 9x squared is going to be negative 20x squared. Bring down my plus 9x. And now I'm paying attention to this term. Okay, so negative 20x squared divided by 4x. Well, negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5, and 2 minus 1 is 1, so just x. Every time I get a new number on top, we multiply. Negative 5x times 4x is negative 20. X times x was x squared. Negative 5x times 3 is going to be negative 15x. And then we subtract. So opposite, opposite. Negative 20x squared plus 20x squared is 0. And 9 plus 15 would be 24. Yes. Okay, so I'm bringing down my last term, meaning that this is my last go round. So 24x, 4x, and my last term. So 24x divided by 4x, the x's cancel. 24 divided by 4 is 6. And last, every time I put a number up here, I multiply. 6 times 4x, 24x, and 6 times 3 is 18. However, we subtract, opposite, opposite, and they both zero out. 24x minus 24x, 18 minus 18, so that's my answer. 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. Okay, the last thing we're looking at is what we learned today, okay, which is scientific notation. Okay, so just a reminder, when your number is bigger than 1, write this in scientific notation. it's going to have a positive exponent. So I know this is going to be times 10 to a positive exponent. And I know that my current decimal is here, and I want my new decimal to be here, because one number and then a decimal. So I'm going to move it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. So it's going to be 4.23 times 10x to the 8th. Not x, 10 to the 8th. Goodness gracious. Okay, 50. Now this is a smaller than 1, so it's going to be a negative exponent. I want my decimal here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it becomes 5.07. X to the negative 6. So again, I told you on some of these you can check them. 4.23 times 10 to the 8th. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0. So that's right. 5.07 times 10 to the negative 6th. So that didn't work. That one won't let me check it. Okay, so let's look at this one. So what is this in standard form? Remember, standard form is a regular number. Okay, so I'm going to move, this is going to be bigger than 1, bigger than 1. Because remember, when your exponent is positive, it's going to make a number bigger than 1. So I'm going to move to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there was empty 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros at the end. So 7, 2, 3, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So every 3 you could put a comma, and there's your answer. Okay, so here, same concept, except it was negative, so it's going to make a number smaller than smaller than 1. So I'm going to move to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. So 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 2, 3, 1, 5. Okay, the light density of chlorine is 2.95 times 10 to the negative 3. Negative 3 is going to make a number smaller than 1. So I'm going to move to 3, 1, 2, 3, which is 0.00295. So 2 zeros, which is B. Okay, to put this in, which shows this in scientific notation, it's going to be 2.6. The current decimal is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to the 8th power. B. Okay, good luck on your test.